7.
Jeff Bodine drove his car Saturday morning. His number 7 car. That's the car we're seeing right there. Jeff Bodine, I think everyone realizes, bought this team, the Kowicki team, and will race the car next year. He drove the car because Jimmy Hensley went to his daughter's graduation, high school graduation. They wanted the car shook down, and that's Jeff Bodine, the guy who's going to drive it next year.
That makes sense.
Here's the driver's snapshot on Hensley. Started 18th, currently 7th. That's the highest he has been. The lowest he has been is 24th on lap number 1, and he has not been among the 7 that have led a lap.
This team won this race last year with Alan Kowicki driving the car on their way to the Winston Cup Championship. As we watch Hensley going down the back straightaway, the Long Pond straightaway, we see Trevor Boy's car being pushed to the garage area.
And there is the leader, Kyle Petty, and the interval he has on Jimmy Spencer in 2nd, and then this 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. Jerry Punch has a comment on the leader of this race, Kyle Petty.
And Bob Kyle told Robert Pemberton and the crew, he realizes this race here, 200 laps, 500 miles, it's a long afternoon at Pocono, so they're going to pace themselves. And it's not that he has gotten quicker, he's actually running the same pace he ran in the early laps. He's running a lap at 50, let's see, that time by 57.43 seconds, about 57.5 seconds. Everyone else has slowed down, and Kyle has maintained the consistency. He said, if we can just go out there and be consistent, we can win it.
We saw Kyle pass Terry Labonte, who is back out there in the Kellogg Chevrolet.
Here's the snapshot on Kyle. Started 8th, is the leader. His lowest was 13th on lap 1, and he has led 9 laps so far. Ernie Irvin is back on the racetrack. He was 5 minutes 43 seconds in the pits and lost 7 laps.
Kyle's car is running so well.
The car is really handling, sticking right down on the inside.
Looks like, again, the best battle on the racetrack is back here for 3rd. Allison to the inside of Earnhardt.
Either that set of tires they put on Earnhardt's car is not working as good as earlier, or maybe the track has changed a little bit here. Schrader trying to pass both of them.
And he doesn't. Maybe anyway.
Maybe at least, yeah.
That battle about 3 seconds behind Kyle Petty. 5 cars nose to tail.
That is 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th.
Now Schrader looks inside of Earnhardt again, going into the 3rd turn. Only 3 turns on this course. Earnhardt's way up high.
He gave Schrader the bottom of the racetrack and was able to make pretty good time on the top side, but they got a line of cars on the inside trying to draft by Earnhardt. Looks like Schrader's going to make it, and where they're going to fall in down there, I have no idea.
Well, we're soon going to find out. Schrader has taken the spot away from Dale. Allison gets by, but just barely. But Earnhardt is strong up there on that outside line.
Well, he's as strong as you can expect to be up there. It still is not the preferred group. Here's Jimmy Hensley trying to make a move on the inside. He said, no, this is not the time to do it. Let's say he's losing positions by being up there on the outside, so that's not the place to be. But if the car is not working down on the inside, you try to pick a place on the racetrack where it will work.
Earnhardt is back to 6th. Jerry, are we hearing about some possible problems on Davey Allison's car?
Bob, no, actually not his car. Davey has radioed and told Larry McReynolds and the crew that he has a windshield full of oil. He said, I cannot see anything. He said, it's hard to see out here. You know, in the turns, much less than 170 miles an hour in the straightaway. He's going to follow Kenny Schrader for a while. He was going to follow Kenny Schrader for a while, but I guess he changed his mind as they headed for turn 1.
He goes inside of Kenny and makes the pass.
I don't know who in that lead group would be losing oil that would cover his windshield up. Because I haven't, these cars have not been around Ernie Irvin. Irvin has went in the pits, has gone in the pits, and has cured his problem. Currently 30 cars are on the lead lap out of 40 that started this race. And
We're almost a fourth of the way through. The record for number of cars on the lead laps 22 in June of 90, and Jimmy Hensley passes Earnhardt. And John Kernan, the 3-car, continues to slip backward.
You're exactly right, Bob. It is a handling problem. Earnhardt telling them, Richard Childers and Andy Petrie, the car is really going away. He had been complaining of the car being very, very tight, especially as he came off of the corner. They're about 10 to 12 laps away from their next scheduled pit stops, so Dale will just have to hold on. They'll come in and take on 4 new Goodyear Eagles and also make a chassis adjustment. That coming up in about 10 to 12 laps.
Meanwhile, Earnhardt has fallen back to 7th position. Now ahead of him are Jimmy Hensley and Mark Martin, Schrader, and Allison. Allison started 7th, was 3rd, 2nd, 5th, and now runs in 3rd position.
Tell you what, Davey Allison, he and his whole family last night actually were the recipient of an award, the Bill France Award of Excellence that Pocono gives annually. Last night they gave it to the Allison family, and I tell you what, it was a very special moment last night.
It really was a very moving time and a very deserved award.
Kyle Petty leads, followed by Jimmy Spencer, then Allison, Schrader, and the others. We'll be back with more live coverage from Pocono International Raceway.
Introducing.
Kyle just got back from a very interesting motorcycle trip. You know, they're celebrating the 90th anniversary of Harley-Davidson this weekend. And he began in Charlotte on June the 3rd, and it all ended here at Pocono. But in the meantime, they went to New York City and Portland, Maine, and Loudon, New Hampshire. And it's really interesting to hear him talk about what happened on that trip, especially in New York City when they encountered some people wearing their tuxedos while they were climbing off their Harleys. It was really interesting.
With their blue jeans and holes in the knees.
Right. And there is Jimmy Spencer, and boy, what a run he is turning in 2nd position. He's 12th in the points. His best finish of 93 was a 2nd at Talladega. There he is, and whoa!
He didn't do that one just exactly right, did he?
A little slippage there, huh?
So better be more careful than that.
And back of Jimmy is this threesome.
That's a race for 4th spot. Davey Allison is in 3rd, Mark Martin 4th, Schrader's 5th, and Hensley is 6th. And Harry Gant's going by Dale Earnhardt.
Dale Jarrett just passed him in turn 1, and Gant now moving around, so Earnhardt is sort of going backwards. Car just not handling for him.
And the handling has gone away. Earnhardt was very strong in the early going, but now has fallen all the way back to what, about 9th? Started 26th, fell to 27th, but at that point on lap 10, he began a progression toward the front and is now in the 8th position at the end of 49 laps. Boy, a lot of speculation as to what Harry Gant is going to do next year. Some say that this is his final year. He's going to retire.
I don't believe that.
I don't either.
I believe that he'll stay at least one more year. In fact, he's got a contract for a year, but that doesn't mean that he couldn't quit. But
there's Dale Jarrett. He and Harry Gant, we're talking about Harry Gant, but Dale Jarrett's in front of him. These fellows run together. They have run down this pack of cars, Hensley, Schrader, and Mark Martin.
Benny, they were about 7 seconds behind this pack of cars at one time, and now they have caught him.
Dale Jarrett did not qualify very well, Ned. Started in 21st position, qualifying at 159, about 3 miles an hour off the pole-setting pace. Why qualify poorly and have such a good race day set up?
I don't know, somebody said the other day, said, what happened to Dale? Said he qualified so slow. I said, hey, that was a good qualifying run. He qualified 21st. He'd been qualifying 32nd. He did twice in a row and 29th last week at Dover. But I don't know, they just don't have a good qualifying package, but they do have a good race setup. And I guess that's the most important. If you got to have one and not the other,
absolutely,
so the race setup would be the one.
Now here he is taking the spot away from Jimmy Hensley.
And looks like he's trying to take a spot away from Schrader, making 3 abreast.
Dave Marcus is back out of there.
Does Schrader know he's there?
No.
I think
Schrader
he did.
drove right on down in there.
Dale Jarrett has 4 top 5s in the last 5 races. That has moved him to 3rd in the point standings. Ernie
Irvin is back on pit road again in the Kodak Film Chevrolet.
There's Dale Serial, 24th to 14th to 11th, ran there for a few laps and now has moved to